Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez here, your favorite wrestling fan every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. So, hope you guys had a great, amazing Wednesday. Mine was, pretty eventful. Obviously, I'm coming at you guys, a little late here on the mic. But without further ado, of course, the show must go on. And I always, the show always lasts till like almost like 9:30 or like 9:25 anyway. So, we always get our stuff covered, you know what I mean? I always make sure I get everything that I feel like I have, in terms of professional wrestling off my chest. Obviously, want you guys to reciprocate that same behavior. Hit up the thoughts, hit up the tips and donations link or just hit up the chat box and, send me some of your hot takes and your thoughts about professional wrestling. So, yeah, hope you guys had an amazing Wednesday. We are midway through the week. It's almost that weekend where we can watch college football and the NFL, barbecue, hang out with loved ones, have a couple of awesome drinks. Not necessarily saying any kind of drinks. You know what I mean? Just sometimes, it's time to unwind. You know what I mean? It's just time to unwind. I'm just kidding. No, that was not a subliminal message or anything like that. But anyways, moving on. So, guys, we have a pretty action-packed show for you today. We have our WWE NXT review. Is a great episode. And then we have our AEW Dynamite preview. We're gonna, sorry, we're gonna talk about Bobby Lashley's recent comment on how the Hurt Business was, and WWE booking. He wasn't really, didn't really speak, too highly of it, obviously. And by all means, why would he? We're gonna get into that in our fourth segment. We're going to talk about a WWE superstar shakeup happening right after Crown Jewel. I feel like it's going to be necessary if they just don't say, screw it and just have everybody on, each roster every week. But then again, like, I feel like that'd be, too much of like a bloodline drama. I know the bloodline storyline has been like, exclusive to Friday Night SmackDown. So I think that might stay. But it came to Monday Night Raw on the episode. So I thought that was, pretty interesting. And then our fifth and final segment, something we do every Wednesday. I give you guys my weekly wrestling news, just some hot topics surrounding the world of professional wrestling. So let's get on into it. But before we do absolutely any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Send in those super stickers if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling. Make sure that you guys feel like you get, everything off your chest. We are dying to hear what you guys have to say. Share, obviously. Hit up the chat box. Let me know how you feel. Just, have a, let's just have a good time. Let's just have a good time. Hang out on a podcast, talk about some professional wrestling. This show, it's all about keeping the conversation lively and making sure your guys' voice, making sure you guys feel like you're part of the mix. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? It's that dollar sign below the chat box. Absolutely anything you guys put inside there will be talked about on the show live. If it's something good, we can talk about it, we can debate about it, and we can, this podcast then becomes like our podcast. Obviously, these super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on the GSMC Sports Network, helps all these amazing podcasters maintain that passion of bringing you guys awesome sports content Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys, obviously anything will help. First and foremost, thank you in advance. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together, we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat not your thing, it's all good. Go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. But of course, in terms of talking sports, criticism is inevitable. Feedback is a gift. So don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Drop whatever you guys have to say inside that chat box, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so let's talk about our first segment. We have some WWE NXT. All in all, I give it like a 4.8. It was almost 5 stars. I'm not like Dave Meltzer tossing out 5 stars like surrounding the world of professional wrestling. I like how he's like, he's raw and stuff like that. True wrestling fan, true wrestling fan. Got to respect another wrestling fan. So let's go and talk about it. We had Damage Control taking on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson of Metaphor. Just Lash Legend's power was on display during this match. It was insane. This girl definitely has a singles title run, in her bag. Her being a part of Metaphor. I don't want to be a jerk and be like, oh, it's kind of slowing her down. But ultimately, if she wants to become like a Jade Cargill, like a Bianca Belair, because she has the talent, she has the agility. She's fast. She cuts good promos. She's very, very strong, and she dictates the match within. There's a couple of times where I was watching a match and it felt like she was like holding Kyrie Sang or Io Sky's hand and walking down the street, trying to guide them through the match. Is because she would, she's just so good. She's just amazing. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Sky or Sane, but I feel like Lash Legend is, kind of levels above right now. Her kind of settling for, kind of this gimmicky mid card, kind of title she has in Metaphor. To be honest, I feel like she could, she also, she's still young. She's a future. She's in NXT. There's no doubt in my mind that she's probably going to, have her run as soon as some of the main Carters on NXT in the women's division start to find themselves on Raw or SmackDown. If that happens, I don't know if they're still doing the draft this year. Well, I know they're doing the draft, but I don't know if they're going to include NXT because NXT themselves wants to remain like their own self-sufficient kind of brand. So I don't know how that's going to go down, but it would be kind of cool to have, kind of have if NXT was like, oh, if you take some of our superstars, we're going to take like somebody like obviously will never happen, but like Cody Rhodes or imagine CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk would be amazing on NXT because he's backstage most of the events anyways. He loves working with the young talent there. Mutual respect from everybody in the locker room. I feel like he belongs there, and I feel like he would kick ass there. So Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, interfere in the match. It was, I was banking on this match being like, kind of being like a hidden match of the year kind of match, but ultimately it was tarnished because freaking Chelsea Green and Piper Niven had to stick their nose in the women's division business, obviously tag team division. Obviously, I like how Chelsea Green is kind of playing this, kind of playing this like in your face, arrogant, maybe sometimes, annoying, girl that you just want to get your hands on and, choke her out. I'm just kidding, no. Obviously speaking in terms of wrestling, and not that that would be kind of crazy. Uh, but I definitely, I respect her character. I think she's great. Every single time she's on the television screen, people pay attention. People, like the drama that she brings. And Piper Niven's kind of just there, like she's the muscle. I would love to see them have a women's world tag team title run. I feel like they're kind of due, and maybe that's the future. Maybe that's the future that this is kind of leading up to because it feels like Piper Niven can't be stopped at this point. Although Lash Legend did beat her 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, WWE SmackDown, and it was a very very impressive performance. Jada Parker defeats Tatum Paxley. After the match, Wendy Chu kidnaps Tatum Paxley, puts her in like this crate kind of thing. I was like, all right, like what's going on right now? This is crazy. Like, so now Wendy Chu, Tatum Paxley back into the mix, back feuding on NXT, maybe on TNA. Maybe they have a match at Bound for Glory. That'd be pretty badass. I feel like that would be great booking by NXT and TNA. Lyra Valkyria, does she have to come back to TNA? I mean NXT or TNA to help her, kidnapped friend? It would be a bombshell if Lyra Valkyria did wind up on TNA, though. I gotta be honest. And then she could definitely be the next one to challenge, for Jordan Grace's Knockouts Championship, which would be pretty cool, which would be pretty badass. I'm getting in the chat saying that I have no sound. Oh, geez. Okay, let's. Okay. All right. I do see that. No, that did not happen. Yo. Okay. Ooh. We're doing this my check right now. How does that sound, Anthony? Does that sound good? Back to, dang, thank God for this guy, dude. Dude, thank you. Thank the Lord for Anthony Mazzano. Appreciate you, man. I hope this sounds a lot better. I can or maybe I might sound too loud now. If I sound too annoying, make sure you give me a heads up. But yeah, moving on with the NXT. Man, I got the MVP right here. Thank you so much. That would have been, oh man, that happened to me once actually. I was doing a show. Yes, thank you. I was doing a show and my mic, something was going on with my mic. I think I accidentally, I give a lot of like sporadic hand gestures during the podcast, and I think I landed on the mouse, and it's very on the laptops. It's like very sensitive, and I think I clicked the mic, and it was super. It was like to the point where it was like you can barely even hear me. And then I was like, dude, really? An hour and like 25-minute show, just me rambling on, losing my voice every night. And I don't know, it was super frustrating. Thank God that did not happen today. Once again, thank you so much, Anthony Mazzano, for helping me out. Do you think NXT setting up a stable with Obafemi, Nikita, Dyson and Tyreek? That would be pretty cool. I want to see Oba Fett. That would be definitely a different character change for Oba. Because I really honestly don't think he's going to, I don't think he's going to pick up I don't think he's gonna beat the Don. I don't think he's gonna regain his NXT North American Championship, and this would be big. This would be, that would be big, especially heading toward, Survivor Series. I don't know if NXT is gonna have any saying, and like maybe that no, I think it's on a Saturday. Maybe they do it, on Sunday. That would be pretty cool if they have like a NXT War Games because that's where it kind of originated from. Was this NXT War Games, and then WWE saw how successful the ratings were in NXT War Games, and they're like, you know what? Let's we're done with the WWE the Raw Tag Team Champions taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Intercontinental Champion taking on the United States. WWE, you guys get my drift. And although I thought that was kind of cool, I did like that. And the traditional five-man tag team match throughout my years as a wrestling fan was super badass. I would still, definitely love to see that as well. I definitely love it. Love that year in Survivor Series where they had triple threats of everything: NXT, WWE, and SmackDown. I thought that was a really good collaboration. That was pretty cool. My man Anthony Mazzano, I'm still thinking they're planning to have him hold the NXT Championship and the NXT North American title at the same time. For Oba, that would be I think he's going to go after the NXT championship. That's what I thought. Setting up they kind of teased, like you were talking about, a stable with Nikita last night on NXT, and I wasn't against it. I ultimately think maybe she was the one who helped him take out Rizzo backstage because at first, like once when I saw her down, and then Obafemi beats the hell out of Luca Cristofino and also Stax Lorenzo. I was like, dude, did this guy straight up like knock out a girl? I'm just kidding, no. But I knew there had to be some something lying behind it because it'd be like, oh crap, Obafemi took out the whole family, and now he would essentially kind of have a family of his own going up against the Don and his family would be pretty cool. But that's what I thought. I thought he was going. He let the NXT North American title go. Now Wesley can challenge for it. Now you're going to see Javon Evans challenging for it as well. And the after Trick Williams, I feel like Trick Williams will defeat Ethan Page, and then you're going to see Ethan Page go after the North American Championship as well. Because the North American Championship on NXT, I feel like does have prestige. Just as much. Well, not just as much as prestige as the NXT World Heavyweight Championship, but there's a slight discrepancy between the success, between the glory, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Recently with the WWE Intercontinental Championship, I feel like it's not diminished in value because it's been, passed around on Raw so much. But, with, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, when Gunther had it, it was pretty cool. But a lot of people wanted to see Gunther go after the World's Heavyweight Championship sooner rather than his reign, 666 day, the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time. So I think that would be pretty cool. Making a prediction, I think Ricky Stark's debut. I'm not sure if he's still under contract with AEW and screws Ethan Page. That would be pretty cool. Maybe a little bit of a, past. I think they've had past beef. I don't know if it was on, AEW or TNA, but that would be, I would like to see something shocking like that. Ricky Starks could definitely be a main competitor on NXT. I was banking on Daniel Garcia coming to NXT. I was excited about that. I thought he would have been an amazing addition. He kind of reminds me of like a young, kind of could be arrogant. Randy Orton, very athletically gifted. I would love to see Daniel Garcia on, NXT, but maybe it will happen in the future. But as of right now, it would be kind of, I would take Ricky Starks too. That'd be awesome. I think he's successful. I think he's great. And all right, moving on. Like I said, Obafemi destroys the family. Alexis King confronts Charlie Dempsey for a shot at the NXT Heritage Cup Championship. He was looking all episode looking for someone to stay in his corner, but of course you can't trust the King. Like what General Manager Ava said, Andre Chase challenges Rich Holland to an ambulance match at Halloween Havoc. That's going to be super awesome. Trick Williams comes face to face with Ethan Page inside the ring. Ethan, Trick said Ethan looked desperate. I got to be honest, during this promo, Ethan Page, I felt like, destroyed Trick Williams 1010%. That's the guy. That's the other guy I was thinking of. I think you're thinking of Daniel Limelight or not Daniel Garcia. That would have been no, but yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But there was that other guy too. Oh, I can't think of the guy who on Ring of Honor. He's tag team champions with Dustin Rhodes. Sammy Guevara. I thought he was also in the mix of contract talks with WWE. That would have been pretty cool as well. Dammy from MLW would have been badass. As well. Daniel Garcia was yeah, AEW. You know what? I think AEW would have been screwed if Daniel Garcia would have left. He's definitely very talented. He's, a prospect. He's going to be the future of AEW as well. Got a chat from my man, Twiddles. Hey dude, can't stay long, but this looks awesome. Hope you're having a great day and keep this awesome work up. NGL, don't know anything about this stuff, but nonetheless still entertaining. Hey man, definitely appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing night. Hope you have a great week. Hope you hope you just stay amazing. Thank you so much, man, for the confidence boost. Definitely, love hearing the love and the peace in terms of talking to the audience and stuff like that. This podcast is a lot. It's a lot better when the chat is heating up. Definitely love that. So you like about back to NXT. Trick Ethan Page, I felt like was he was ripping it up. He kind of brought like something that not like kayfabe, like a little bit outside of kayfabe, like kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Bringing up the fact that Trick Williams was, he was groomed by WWE. He was trained by a lot of professionals. He had a golden opportunity thrown right in front of him and stuff like that. Total's good to hear. Good to hear, man. Thank you so much, bro. Hope you have a great week. Go great weekend. Stay blessed. Different paths. Ethan Page said they were on different paths. And Ethan Page has literally gone through hell to get to WWE to become an NXT World Heavyweight Championship for a brief amount of time. Actually, he had a decent run. He had a decent run as the head guy, and I liked him. I thought it was a great decision by WWE NXT to kind of switch it up a little bit. Trick Williams, you had a couple of baby faces, holding titles for quite some time, and you're like, you know what, let's switch it up. Then you had Roxanne Perez win. Then a lot of people thought when Wesley comes back, when he came back, he was going to dethrone Oba Femi, but that didn't happen, and that's when Ethan Page defeated Trick Williams in that match, in that fatal four-way match with Sean Spears, Javon Evans at NXT's Heat Wave. So I thought that was pretty cool. So Sol Ruka defeated Karma Petrovic. Hank and Tank defeats OTM, and in the main event, you saw Julia and Stephanie Vacure taking on the Fatal Influences, Fallon Henley, and also and JC Jane. Kehlani Jordan came out in the middle, in the match to kind of help Julia and Stephanie to kind of work, trying to even the odds a little bit. Victoria and Julia's in-ring style has, definitely is unique. It's worth mentioning that it's kind of a breath of fresh air, just something new in WWE, which I love, a lot. I love how not so dominant they are. They have had a lot of success outside of WWE, obviously from the CMLL for Victoria and Julia Stardom. And I love that they're not just so like, they come out and they start kicking everybody's ass. So I definitely love that aspect of it as well. Fatal Influence, they spin the wheel. Spinner's Choice. Zarya, she debuted, and then of course the controversy that went off the air. I guess the CW has a more stricter cutoff time than from the USA Network, and I guess NXT higher ups and personnel were absolutely livid that the CW did this because from some areas people did not see Zarya debut, which kind of sucks, and it's crazy, 1,010% crazy. All right, got another chat from my man Anthony Mazzano before we take a quick break. I've been saying this from the beginning with how they're building Drew McIntyre's character as a heel. Honestly, I think Triple H debut Gallus on the main roster and pairs him up with Drew McIntyre. That would be pretty cool. I would definitely, seeing Drew in like a fact. I don't think I've seen Drew in a faction, since he was, doing his thing on Monday Night Raw as a heel with, oh God, who was the big guy? Was it Braun Strowman? No, I don't think it was Braun Strowman. No, I don't think it was. I think they were after Braun Strowman. It was Dolph Ziggler. He was part of, he was with it was him, Dolph Ziggler, and some other guy. I can't really, I can't think of it right now. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Every time I see Sol Ruka, I keep seeing a mixture of Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler. She's talented. I ultimately thought Sol Ruka was going to win the inaugural WWE NXT Women's North American Championship, but obviously Keilani Jordan won it. And she's been doing great, but I see Sol Ruka as I see her as a star. I think she's going to be a huge asset in terms of WWE NXT personnel, especially moving forward with her career. She keeps picking up dubs, and she looks very like she looks good doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she looks athletically inclined. It looks like she knows how to manipulate an audience to kind of draw them in, because every single wrestling match, every single time two superstars step inside of the squared circle, they kind of have to tell a story. They kind of have to start out, what's the plot, what's the thesis, where's the meat, the body paragraphs, and then of course the conclusion, and how it makes sense at the end. And of course what the fans should take from it. So I definitely, I love the way that she's a, classic storyteller inside the ring. And, I think she could definitely be someone as prominent as these two superstars like, Tori Wilson and Stacey Huber in the, in history of WWE. All right, moving on. We have AEW talk, ready to talk about Dynamite. Obviously, AEW has already aired on the East Coast, but I'm on the West Coast and I still pay for cable, so I have it, so I have it recorded. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit, preview, maybe give a little bit of a hot takes. Obviously, if anybody's watched AEW, if you have some pretty hot spoilers, obviously you can drop them in the chat. Won't get my feelings hurt. I just want to maintain this awesome wrestling discussion that we continue to have. Once again, thank you to my man Anthony Mazzano for saving my arse there. So definitely God bless you. That's sick. So without further ado, we're going to jump on into some AEW Dynamite talk. So hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring. We talk about superstar news, injury statuses. Also, we talk about contract negotiations, signings, extensions for every superstar in wrestling. We, from promotions like WWE to AEW to TNA, Ring of Honor, also Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on the GSMC Sports Network Monday through Friday. Once again, loving the chat. Thank you guys so much for helping me out. And, we're going to move on to this AEW Dynamite talk. You know what that means. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up those super chats. If you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, do not be shy. Drop whatever you guys feel like inside that chat. Definitely love keeping up with you guys, keeping the conversation going, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix, 1,010%. So yeah, don't be shy. And if obviously, if you really have a hot take or a burning question or just something you want to share, hit up that super chat. It's a $sign below the chat box. Obviously, whatever you guys send in will be talked about, maybe even debated about in terms of, obviously all in respect, all out of love, all out of love. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your super chats obviously help keep the lights on and bring you even more awesome content that you guys love so much from all these amazing, passionate podcasters that we have here, hosting shows Monday through Friday, throughout the day. They work hard to make sure you guys are satisfied, make sure you guys, consume a lot of content that is necessary for being basically like a sports fan, and you get to, the more you know, the more you know, like, you know what I mean? You can never have too much knowledge. Knowledge is power. I'm just kidding. Got that from Game of Thrones. I don't know if any of you guys are Game of Thrones heads out there. Moving on, we are super grateful for each and every one of you guys. Thank you in advance, everyone who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Love you guys, and your support obviously makes a difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. So send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Of course, if the super chat not your thing, it's all good. It's all gravy, baby. 110%. Go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable to have some criticisms. Obviously, feedback is a gift. Feel like you guys can chat anything in the world, and feel comfortable doing it. Just want to make sure this is our podcast. This is our wrestling podcast. All right, moving on. We have AEW Dynamite talk. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Another awesome episode of AEW Dynamite live tonight at Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we have a lot of great matches coming up. We're going to talk about House of Black. House of Black's going to be in action. Brody King coming off of a loss from Darby Allin. For second time he's lost to Darby in his career. He's looking to bounce back. Of course, Aleister Black. Buddy Murphy. I think they're Buddy Matthews. No way, I don't know. Oh my God, I'm confusing my WWE. Malachi Black. Oh my God, dang it. I think it's because I read an article today about like a bunch of WWE superstars that were, let go during like, the 2019, 2021, kind of like the pandemic era. And a lot of these guys, got released, and it's crazy. So they're going to be in action tonight. Who they decide to target first, I'm not too sure. Maybe they find a way to kind of go after Darby right now. I feel like Darby doesn't really have like a set storyline so far. Like, I know he was beefing with John Moxley, and I don't know if they have anything planned for that. It'd be kind of cool to kind of see House of Black, maybe they turn babyface. Maybe they join forces with Darby Allin to take on, this new faction that John Moxley has. With Wheeler Yuta, also Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and of course, oh my God, Pac. Pac, of course, with Pac, they're still the trios champion, so that could be a pretty interesting storyline. Heading down the line, that'd be super cool. Also, we'll hear from Kyle Fletcher, on his, betrayal on his former bruv, Will Ospreay. Don Callis family right now, they have a lot of momentum, and this is a momentum I feel like that they should have had for quite some time. For a little while there on Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, they were kind of like on the back burners, never really had like any intriguing storylines. But of course there were, obviously Don Callis every single time he came out and sat commentary. Um, it was, he was, kind of that promoter, kind of gave me like a, not like a Vince McMahon kind of vibe, but that guy, I don't know, just that annoying like wrestling manager who's, has nothing but great things to say about his superstars, although they were kind of like in a rut before, before, a couple weeks ago. But I want to see Kyle Fletcher with Lance Archer taking on Will Ospreay and Ricochet for like in like a tag team match. That'd be like a dream tag team match. That'd be pretty badass. Because Lance Archer, he's a rising star as well. Like, and the guy's like he's dominant. He's strong. He's big. He's bad. And Kyle Fletcher is kind of this this finesse guy who could definitely like you take your eye off him for 1 second and bam, you're already pinned down on the shoulders, on the ground, on the canvas, 1, 2, 3. So I definitely have still, after this heel turn by Kyle Fletcher, I'm still a big fan. I'm still a huge fan of Kyle Fletcher. I want to see how this heel turn works because for the longest time, people had consumption, oh damn it, that's not the right word. People had basically this this idea that Kyle Fletcher was already a heel working in the Don Callis family, but in fact, like, he turned out to be like, he was watching Will Ospreay's back the whole time and vice versa. And of course, Don Callis, he loves that screwdriver. Maybe he'll bring it ringside tonight. I'm not too sure. I'm just kidding, no. But it should be interesting to find out which direction these guys take their storyline into. I feel like whatever's going to happen tonight on Dynamite obviously is going to have build up toward AEW Full Gear. So, should be awesome. Queen Aminata takes on Mercedes Monet's bodyguard, Camille. This looks like it could be another great matchup. Queen Aminata, I would like to see her pick up the victory, although I know maybe Mercedes Monet might, might stick her nose into, other people's business. I'm just kidding. But all in all, I'm high on Queen Aminata. I think she's definitely a future champion. Maybe after Athena, Athena has had this historic Ring of Honor World Women's Championship reign, and it's been 1,010% well deserved. She did her thing on NXT, and she was impressive. She came to the WWE main roster back in that day during the Vince McMahon, a writing era right there. Then she went down to NXT. Then she got released, and then she came to of course, Ring of Honor, and she's been absolutely just killing it. Definitely proving all the WWE universe out there who had faith in Ember Moon, like myself. I was a huge Ember Moon fan. Basically, proving that, WWE messed up, dog. Like, I should have kept her, But obviously, I feel like she's getting a lot more television time on Ring of Honor. She has a lot more, storylines, kind of epicenter like around her character that she portrays super well because she's talented. She's extremely talented. She has the high flying capabilities. She has she's an in-ring tactician. She could definitely pull a submission out of nowhere as well. And she's that what is that? What is the word I'm thinking of? The total package. She's the total package of a women's superstar that definitely makes for like a historic, maybe even legendary run in the end at the end of her career. So that would be obviously, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. Not going to happen anytime soon. But anyways, Queen Aminata looks like she could definitely be in that same boat as well. She puts on great matches. She's she definitely, you can't take her eyes off her as well. She's she definitely busts out a lot of highlights. Like, she's not afraid to like pull out a random moonsault from the top rope or from the ropes to the outside. So she's very gifted in that way as well. This match between her and Camille definitely are going to be it's going to be star-studded. It's going to be it's going to be a blockbuster match. Definitely a sleeper match of maybe a match of the evening because these girls are amazing at what they do, and I can't wait to see it. Sammy Guevara takes on Shelton Benjamin. See, this seems like more of a better match that Shelton Benjamin probably should have debuted on. The match against Leo Rush, I wasn't really a huge fan of it. I ultimately wanted to see him go up against somebody like Sammy Guevara, because it's more of a challenge. It's more of a challenge. Just more of a guy that's been within within AEW Ring of Honor for quite some time. And Shelton, who's going to win tonight? I'm not too sure. This is why I feel like this would be like a great test for Shelton Benjamin. Also, if he gets the loss tonight, this momentum that the Hurt Syndicate is trying to build up, pre Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley, we're going to talk about it actually in my third segment coming up in the next segment, how basically telling fans to hold on tight in a few weeks, you know, stuff's going to be popping off. So, they definitely have to make a good impression here. It'd be kind of cool. Maybe kind of even gearing up for Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and maybe another choice in terms of the Hurt Syndicate, maybe going after the Ring of Honor six-man tag team championships right off the bat. That'd be kind of crazy. A lot of people still have a lot of, criticisms, a lot of negative perspectives about if Bobby Lashley came to Ring of Honor and picked up a tag team belt right away. Like, I get it. I would think that Tony Khan would want to bring him right away to make to pay dividends in the AEW World Heavyweight title picture. But with everything happening with John Moxley right now, it might not be the best idea to have John Moxley drop the title to Bobby Lashley in that sense. But I don't know. It could, if the storyline is done right, if the storytelling, it could work. Like, what I mean, anything in professional wrestling is a possibility. It just has to be done correctly. So, should be interesting to find out. Jack Perry teams up with the Young Bucks. It's been a while since he's kind of been, at least in my opinion, maybe a couple of times, but it's been a while, since he was in that blood and guts match with the Elite. It's been wild that he's been linked to the Young Bucks for quite some time. Of course, they're taking on Daniel Garcia and Private Party. Jack Perry, I feel like he's better on his own. I feel like he is better on his own, 1,010%. He's a very gifted superstar. I wasn't too high on Jack Perry, but of course, after watching a couple of AEW Dynamites, I was like, you know what, this kid, he's special. You know what I mean? He's taking on the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks as well. They definitely need a character transition and just like to look themselves in the face in the mirror and be like, you know what, this storyline with the Elite, maybe it started off as this cool, you control the production truck and Tony Khan is gone and we're going to injure his neck back during back during the NFL draft where, you saw Tony Khan playing kayfabe, having that, neck brace during the Jacksonville Jaguars, during the conference room when they were drafting. And so I thought that was kind of funny. But Jack Perry, I feel like it's about time. It's about time. This thing needs to be broken up, and I feel like this would be a great way. I don't think it's going to happen, but imagine if Jack Perry turns on the Young Bucks tonight. That would be pretty badass. That'd be pretty cool. Mark Briscoe takes on Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship match in a ladder war match. This match is going to be great. Every match that you see Mark Briscoe in, he gives you 1,010% of basically of everything that he has. He gives you all he has. He gives you everything but everything, even the kitchen sink. Even the kitchen sink. Chris Jericho, although Chris Jericho is a former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, he could most definitely find a way to weasel his way out of this one. The conglomeration is definitely going to have to help out because Big Bill, Brian Keith, God, I really don't want Mark Briscoe to lose because he's been one of my favorite wrestlers for quite some time, but he's had this Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title one for quite some time, and there were so many times where I thought, okay, this is it. He's gonna lose it. Oh, this is it. He's gonna lose it. And he kept proving me wrong. And I fall in love with him more and more. And every single time I see him on the screen, he cuts great promos. Everybody loves him. I mean, everybody loves him. So it'd be kind of crazy to find out if he drops the belt tonight on Dynamite. But it's a possibility. And of course, Jon Moxley is going to be here maybe to cause more ruckus in the world of AEW and professional wrestling. Maybe building up more toward exactly why he's why he created this stable, why is he doing what he's doing on Dynamite, why he had to retire to Brian Danielson being like, I had to, Brian. I had to, Brian. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It should be interesting to find out tonight on Dynamite. All right, guys. So, our third segment, we're going to talk about Bobby Lashley's comments on WWE booking. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumor and drama backstage. We also talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates, contract negotiations, extensions, and signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to Ring of Honor, TNA to the CMLL to the GCW to the National Wrestling Alliance. If it makes major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling, we cover it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So make sure you guys tune into wrestling's greatest show. I'm just kidding. No. But no, it's a good show. It's a good show. But you know, I'm a fan of a couple of the wrestling shows that I see online as well. 1010%. A couple of Instagram people too that I don't think they cut a really good like snippets and reels and stuff like that. Definitely on my way of trying to learn how to do that. But I'm your basic simple, loving, enthusiastic, charismatic wrestling fan. Obviously, if you guys have anything to talk about, anything you want to add about anything we're talking about, or just something you have a hot take on in the world of professional wrestling, make sure you guys share it. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. Do not be shy. This show is all about keeping you guys entertained. Also making sure that this is like a conversation that keeps going back and forth between me and you guys. Definitely would love to hear the audience engagement. Definitely would love to have people speak other than myself, because I feel like I'm just talking to the mic for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh, I come out of the podcast and I see my kids and my wife, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. No, moving on. So now we're going to talk about Bobby Lashley's comments on WWE booking. Obviously, the Hurt Business inside the world of WWE was done super dirty, and that's not really a hot take. That's kind of proven. That's something that was true. You know what I mean? Like Bobby Lashley coming back to WWE, had a promising start. I thought they were going to do him right. Much like, I kind of compare it to, this like a Ricochet kind of thing, where Ricochet was being, he was so popular in the independent wrestling circuit, and WWE was like, yeah, we want to get all the stars, we want to sign them all. And then, they signed Ricochet, didn't really do much with him. And then Bobby Lashley out of TNA, signed back to WWE. We thought it was going to be this big, grand gesture, and Bobby Lashley was finally going to get the respect and the bookings that he should have gotten in his first career run. But obviously, that did not happen as well. I kind of compare it to when a kid is playing with when you see two kids and one of them's playing with a cooler toy, and the other kid like, oh, I want it, and then they take the toy, but then they don't really know how to play with it or how to use it and stuff like that. That is kind of like the comparison about like, getting stars like Bobby Lashley and Ricochet, where WWE, they didn't do crap with it. Like it was crazy. You had all these potential storylines, all this potential talent that just literally, sucked down the drain. And I love that Bobby Lashley winded up on AEW. He already signed the contract. It's going to happen. And I love that Ricochet also is on AEW Dynamite. It's better for both of their careers, 1,010%. So I don't know. Bobby Lashley, comments toward WWE booking the Hurt Business. He said, and I quote, "It was kind of like a spit in the face. Kind of like a spit in the face. AEW is, definitely still waiting for an appearance by Bobby Lashley, which is, and Bobby Lashley said this, and I quote, in an interview, and the next few weeks, you should see something pop off. I want to start getting back to the fans. The group was absolutely dominant during the COVID era back in 2020 and 2021. Of course, MVP was a little more vocal, and intimated the fact that maybe there was a racial biases by the CCO, Triple H, Paul Levesque. But of course, Bobby Lashley didn't go as far to say that. But and a couple of WWE African American superstars actually came out in defense of Triple H. So of course, when you get angry, maybe you say some, maybe you say some stuff, but or maybe it's maybe there might be a little bit of a narrative behind it, like what I mean. Love WWE to death. I've been watching WWE for quite some time, but you think about Latino wrestlers and Hispanic wrestlers other than Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, and I don't know, I'm not all allegations. It's all up in the air. We're talking professional wrestling on a podcast, guy. All about fun. It's all about fun, but obviously it'd be crazy if that was I like Triple H. I definitely love the way he's brought in new talent. The new storylines are fresh, edgy content during the Triple H Paul Levesque era. But then for MVP to kind of put that all out there, like it's I don't know, it's kind of crazy. But like I said, like what I mean, it's all a matter of opinion, of course, 1,010%. So also Bobby Lashley was super frustrated because during the pandemic era, when there was no fans in the arena, of course during the Thunderdome era as well, they were reliable. They were reliable. They were on every Monday Night Raw. They were basically on the show for like a little bit more than half the time. Like they were like the Judgment Day. Like back when the Judgment Day was popping, when with the Damian Priest thing, when they were all together, like with Rhea Ripley, when it felt like Monday Night Raw literally like regulated around what was going on with the Judgment Day. And even Bobby Lashley was speaking on some of the superstars backstage during the COVID era, from late 2019, early 2021, I believe. They were being extremely picky with their storylines, and some of them decided to take time away. Other of them didn't really want to step up to any of the situations. And Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and MVP kind of was like, you know what, work is work. We're here to work. We're here to work. So they were definitely there once when WWE, needed them. He said this, and I quote, "We were doing absolutely everything that a lot of people actually wouldn't do." He also went to say, once when after the pandemic, they didn't really get the television time that they used to get. They didn't really have all the opportunities that they once had. Bobby Lashley had this to say. He said, "What about the guys who put in the time during this most dangerous time, during these unprecedented times during COVID, where you could walk out, try to pick up something at the store, and then bam, you pick up this new disease. At the time, the FDA didn't really have, a serum. No, it's not a serum. What is it? Vaccine. They didn't really have a vaccine, a cure for it, or just to mitigate it or anything like that, or but they still went out there and they did it. Like, and Bobby Lashley, that's why he felt a little betrayed. He felt like he got, it was like a spit in the face. And of course, once when that all happened, and MVP and Shelton Benjamin were, some of the first superstars to get released, and the Hurt Business then tried to make it worse. They tried to revamp it where you had him. And of course, they were known as the Prophets, not the Street Profits anymore. And they kind of came out, they were like a little cocky. They were a little like, they were a little arrogant. They weren't really acknowledging fans like they used to. And then that storyline went down under, and then the Hurt Business and their Street Profits came back, and then they started loving the fans again. Woo woo woo. And then after that, you see Bobby Lashley not appear on TV. The Street Profits has yet to pick up an opportunity, despite the fact that how impressive Montez Ford is and D'Angelo Dawkins are, together. So I don't know. It's just something that Bobby Lashley felt like, out of his own opinion, out of his own perspective, how things went down in WWE. He felt like Triple H, under this new regime, didn't really feel like they needed themselves some Bobby Lashley. And he actually said Vince McMahon, did his character better, which is kind of crazy, despite the fact how Vince was. But I don't know. Bobby Lashley is a very talented superstar. WWE, I feel like whiffed on not re-signing him. He could definitely be in that main event card because if you think about it, who do you have in the main event on SmackDown? You have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And if The Rock wants to appear on multiple shows, maybe, I doubt they will give him the WWE Championship. And below that, then you have Kevin Owens, who he could be a good champion, yeah. Randy Orton, he could definitely be that, but it's not really like, main event kind of guy. And then on Monday Night Raw, you have, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Yeah, they're there. Then you have Damian Priest, who I feel like is still kind of a glorified mid-carder. Hate to say it. Braun Breaker, I feel like he's the perfect Intercontinental Champion. He could definitely be a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And of course, you have Brock Lesnar maybe returning. It's been said in an interview that although his name has been referenced on Monday Night Raw the past couple of weeks, we should not expect Brock Lesnar coming back anytime soon. Of course, maybe that was kayfabe. Maybe he is coming back, but I'm not too sure. But Bobby Lashley would absolutely just immense his name into that category, just being on Raw or SmackDown. And it's crazy that they would let somebody like that go because I feel like he would be great for WWE. He'd be a great WWE champion, a great World Heavyweight champion as well. But obviously not the direction they wanted to take. And thinking, and then talking about championship holders, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin were amazing tag team champions. Love them as tag team champions. I thought they ultimately did the brand really well. And and then the rebooted version of the Hurt Business 2.0, you had the Street Profits who, never really got never really got the opportunities one, as well. So it's just, I don't know, throughout the fact that Bobby Lashley's, Hurt Business never really got the respect, the love, the attention that, and the glory that it really deserved. And Bobby Lashley obviously winding up on AEW doing this Hurt Syndicate, rundown would be pretty cool. I think it's gonna be great. I feel like Tony Khan could use Bobby Lashley, you know, better than WWE, much like he's doing with Ricochet and stuff like that. And then the Hurt Business was just they were like the main people kind of screwed over by WWE during the pandemic era, but we also have a bunch of superstars that were released as well. I think from that time there was a total of like 80 superstars. Like, for example, we had Lars Sullivan, you had The Big Show, you had Andrade, Braun Strowman. A couple of these guys came back, of course. You had Buddy Matthews, you had Breezango, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, Ember Moon, Aleister Black, Lana, Drake, Maverick, Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, The Iconics, Samoa Joe, Chelsea Green, and Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, Ruby Riott, Nia Jax actually as well, and of course, the future AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland. Part of, I think it was Top Dollar. I think it was. Don't quote me on that, but all these potential superstars that that could definitely make a difference on your brand. Were kind of booted to the wayside after the pandemic and stuff like that. Obviously, all this doesn't really completely reflect on Triple H and stuff like that because it was still during a time where Vince McMahon had his grubby little paws on it. So ultimately, Bobby Lashley, in terms of WWE booking, wasn't really a huge fan. Us as wrestling fans, definitely 1,010% hope he finds great success in AEW, and I feel like AEW will use him correctly. I feel like it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see him come out in his debut. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our fourth segment. We have a WWE Superstar shakeup going on after Crown Jewel. Obviously, it's not official yet. I'm just kidding. No, but we're going to play around a little bit. I have a conspiracy theory. Think that it's that it's going to happen. But I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll get into it as soon as we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, all right, all right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain call, drama, and rumors. We talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates, also contract negotiations, extensions, and signings. We talk about promotions from AEW to WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, CMLL, the GCW, the NWA. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show. So make sure you guys, catch up with the show. It's going to be awesome. So without further ado, let's talk about this WWE Superstar Shakeup happening after Crown Jewel. Obviously, you have WWE kind of at this point where I feel like it's okay to kind of cross brands here a little bit because they're on, not only that they're on the same network, but you kind of have this, you have this WWE like pool of superstars that I feel like they're giving storylines to everybody right now. And that's something that WWE definitely has to do because you have this new generation of WWE SmackDown turning into a 3-hour show going to the USA Network. And it's on Friday. Obviously Monday Night Raw. It was successful for 3 hours on a Monday. Yeah, it was successful. It was cool. Monday Night Raw, didn't really have much competition besides Monday Night Football and, of course, during the NBA season. But for most of the time, they got good numbers. Friday, though, Friday for SmackDown, Friday, I feel like, a lot of people have not much more like this anticipated, much more better things to do on a Friday night. But, it's the time where it's the end of the week. You want to spend time with your family. Most of the time, people are like, I can't wait to, well, I don't know. I was brought up during that, with that idea in my family, like, hey, I can't wait to watch wrestling. Like, and on Friday, you have, college football going on. And, during the holidays come around, obviously this is happening, this is happening now. It's kind of crazy. You're going to start seeing Thanksgiving games. You have a Black Friday game. That I'm not saying that WWE SmackDown can't contend with the numbers and stuff like that, but I'm just saying on a Friday, well, it just seems a little harder, And of course, when the NBA season comes back in full swing, obviously you have hockey as well, all the hockey heads. But sometimes, daily routine stuff, like I don't know, it's kind of hard to go up against. But although SmackDown has had some, they've had some amazing numbers, but as soon as I feel like Monday Night Raw is going to after WrestleMania 41. I feel like part of the Netflix deal with WWE, they wanted Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns, and instead they got John Cena. And Triple H Palovek basically saying to Netflix, be a little patient with us. We're going to get these superstars across, to the other brand. And, after WrestleMania 41, after we have this build up going on, because if you look at the Monday Night Raw, Netflix poster, you see Charlotte Flair, you see like Solo Sikoa, you see like a Roman Reigns and stuff like that. So, and Netflix is going to be tough. It's going to be an interesting transition for WWE. Like I said, I'm not too sure if they're going to have edgier content, but at the same time, it could be good, could be bad, because you can't really like lose that. You can't lose like the PG audiences just appealing to like most of the PG-13s, the young adults, the 19 to like 41 demographic as well. A lot of kids, grew up watching WWE, watching and emulating John Cena wearing the never give up shirts. Johnson is definitely responsible for bringing in this whole new bevy of WWE fans. And I feel like that's the reason why Johnson is definitely, should be on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers because, the stuff he does, outside of the ring, the way he brought in this new generation of professional wrestling, during the Ruthless Aggression era and the PG era and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, should be interesting. But anyways, basically a superstar shakeup happening after Crown Jewel. If they just don't say screw it and just have everybody, just cross the boundaries on every single show. But I don't know, it could be possible. Jey Uso going to Monday Night Raw is a huge possibility obviously because of the Bloodline Civil War. Not really much of a surprise there. Definitely, it sucks that he lost the Intercontinental Championship, and I would love to see him regain it back. That's probably the only flaw I kind of see in this. He did hold a singles title. Quite unfortunate, sucky timing that it was happening during this whole Bloodline Civil War, and then you have Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and the Tongans, destroy his reign. Like that sucks, man. I loved main event Jey Uso, but I was talking about it. I think it was Monday. I think I was talking about it on Monday how he could lose the championship and then he can just win it back, and it feels like no time has kind of went by. So I feel like it's like he's never going to hold a singles title again, more like I'll see you later kind of thing. So definitely love main event Jey Uso. I think he's coming to Friday Night SmackDown during this Bloodline Civil War. And of course Tiffany Stratton, if there's of course an underlying there's a loophole here, you know what I mean. If she is successful in cashing in against Nia Jax, I feel like she will stay on SmackDown. I feel like that makes the most sense. If she's not successful, I feel like she'll move to WWE Raw, because other than that on SmackDown, you're just gonna have Nia Jax hunting her down, doing beat downs and stuff like that, forcing Tiffany Stratton to kind of have to make another ally, as opposed to just putting her on Monday Night Raw, giving her a fresh, brand new start, having her go after, be the next, kind of be the next babyface of Monday Night Raw. Like, you know what I mean? You kind of have that, you kind of have the dark horse of Monday Night Raw, Rhea Ripley, like the gothic, the anti-hero kind of look. And then if you have a babyface Tiffany Stratton there as well, that would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have, the Barbie doll. You kind of have like the silly, the in-your-face kind of preppy. You know what I mean? That would be an interesting, kind of take on Monday Night Raw, especially heading toward Netflix as well. But because I know Charlotte Flair, she's been rumored, almost guaranteed to come back to fight on SmackDown. And, kind of having, her and Tiffany Stratton in the same book, I feel like will ultimately kind of diminish this push that WWE is trying to give Tiffany Stratton at this moment. So I feel like it's the best for her career. She probably moves to WWE Monday Night Raw. But that's just, obviously, all this is just my opinion, guys, 1000%. Of course, Sami Zayn coming to SmackDown, and I don't hate Sami. I don't, tried to dethrone Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Didn't really happen. He was Intercontinental Championship for a little while there. He had a decent run. Then he lost it to Braun Breaker, who he's fought multiple times. You just want to see something new. You want to see something new with Sami. Sami winding up on SmackDown, maybe maybe confronting his former, well, not his former friend, like his friend Kevin Owens, be like, hey, what are you doing, dog? What's going on? Or Sami Zayn maybe getting into some trouble, trying to help out his honorary Usi, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. That obviously, there's been speculations of Sami Zayn joining Roman Reigns's bloodline once again at to take on the young bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. So obviously that's a huge reason why they would probably push Sami to Monday Night Raw, and I mean to Friday Night SmackDown, but of course as well, like, you know what I mean, like he's already had the Intercontinental Championship. He had a chance at the World Heavyweight Championship. I feel like they're not really going to, I don't think they're going to touch Gunther until maybe Seth Rollins is actually completely 1010% healthy, and maybe somewhere along the line. I don't really see anybody knocking Gunther off besides Seth. And then they're building up toward that WrestleMania 41 main event with CM Punk main eventing WrestleMania and beating Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So I think that they're kind of more or less working toward that, instead of like kind of giving Sami Zayn like another run. You know what I mean? Kevin Owens. Although I did kind of read a couple articles, kind of screwing my conspiracy theory up here. I definitely think 1,010% he could wind up on Raw. Like he could, I was kind of playing with this idea of Finn Balor doing, cleanup of the Judgment Day, and then you bring in, this new revamped, badass, dark Kevin Owens who's willing to do everything to win. Kind of that Judgment Day mentality would be interesting, and I feel like he'd be an interesting match against Gunther. Maybe I take it back. Maybe the person who could dethrone Gunther is a fight Owens fight. With the help of the Judgment Day. That'd be pretty interesting. Logan Paul. I feel like if he comes back to contend for the United States Championship once more, I wouldn't like it, and that's just my opinion, of course. But if he comes back to fight a Braun Breaker, you have the YouTube megastar taking on the unpredictable badass. That would sell. I feel like that would sell, a crap ton of tickets. You basically have a Mike Tyson taking on Jake Paul, kind of PLE match that would be. So I feel like that would be pretty cool for Logan Paul. Ilya Dragunov hasn't really been seen on Raw recently. Him coming to WWE SmackDown would be fire. It'd be great. Kind of revamp this younger generation of the United States Championship. I feel like the LA Knight probably has maybe a month or so tops to kind of because you have a lot of more talent that you can promote with that title. Like Santos Escobar, for example, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade. People like Ilya Dragunov. Like all these guys could potentially, elevate their career with the WWE United States Championship win. And I feel like Ilya Dragunov would be a great champion. Lyra Valkyria would absolutely kill it on SmackDown. Obviously, right now Monday Night Raw, she's kind of just like she's kind of just like floating around here. I feel like ultimately it'd be kind of crazy for her to go back to NXT. Being brutally honest, although I feel like she'd be a great challenge for TNA Knockouts World Heavyweight Champion Jordynne Grace. It'd be a great match. It'd be an amazing match. But we'd love to see Lyra Valkyria on the move. And obviously Ludwig Kaiser leaving Monday Night Raw to go to SmackDown to kind of start his own singles career push. Not too sure that would happen though. But of course, just playing with the conspiracy theories, it'd be kind of cool. You saw him in that United States Championship match when they were in Germany, and man, he was absolutely impressive. He was, definitely, it was eye-opening. It was 1,010%. It was a much-watched match. Drew McIntyre leaving Monday Night Raw, going to Friday Night SmackDown seems fitting because of this whole, CM Punk's going to be on Raw. Like I said, this build up with Seth Rollins and him fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 41. And just kind of having Drew around the same show as, CM Punk. They've done so much messed up crap to each other to the point where it's like, dude, like, how could you not still be in feud with this? Like, I don't know. It just seems like it'd be a fresh start for Drew McIntyre. 1,010% indeed. And it would definitely, keep this Cody Rhodes being WWE champion, storyline afloat. Because as of right now, it seems like he's kind of running out of competitors because he's calling it quits with the bloodline. He's not going to touch the bloodline anymore. You're gonna have that Civil War. They're gonna figure out, that's family thing. That's a family ordeal. They're fighting for the Udafala. They don't care about the WWE Championship. It's more like a garnish on top of on a 4-star, flaming young. You know what I mean? Like a $200 plate, $200 steak. Drew McIntyre winding up on SmackDown, having a rivalry with Cody Rhodes would be badass. I would definitely love to see that. Carlito leaving the Judgment Day, leaving Monday Night Raw to go to SmackDown. Not really any potential storylines with this guy. Maybe perhaps he joins Legado del Fantasma and kind of helps them, achieve greatness. Shinsuke Nakamura, it's already been reported that he's leaving Monday Night Raw. He's technically a Raw superstar, and he will be on WWE SmackDown taping in Brooklyn. Obviously, he's been, pro wrestling and rekindling his, career that way, which I feel like is good for Shinsuke. Shinsuke Nakamura, I did not like how he went heel against AJ Styles after WrestleMania. I did not like that low blow thing. And after that, it just seemed like it was silly. Then he was written off of WWE and just crappy storylines. Or they keep him on SmackDown, turn him heel once again, which would be dumb. But of course, obviously, all my opinion. And then he rekindles his rivalry with Cody Rhodes. So that could possibly be possibility as well. All right, guys, rapidly running out of time. Now we're going to move on to our Wednesday's weekly wrestling news. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just go ahead and jumping right on into it. Have a short amount of time, because of the delay and also some of the technical difficulties. So we're going to talk about some Wednesdays weekly wrestling news. First and foremost, we have NXT having its lowest ratings in terms of viewership since August, but mostly obviously it was the first not the first episode. It was opening day for the NBA. It was a great couple of games. Obviously, Bronny James and his dad sharing the court together. They were able to play a total of I think it was 4 minutes together, which is super cool. Obviously, I'm a father. It would be pretty dope to kind of have my son next to me podcasting. That'd be dope. Obviously, I'm not an NBA star. I did play pickup basketball games, but I'm like 5'4", so every single time I put up a shot, it would be blocked headed back to my face. And I'm like, oh, why? Like, I'm just kidding. No, but it's I understand why NXT didn't get that much of a didn't get that much of a vamp, but ultimately they're gonna bounce back. So nothing really to be worry, nothing to be like, oh, NXT on the CW, it's a failure. It's not a failure. It's gonna be great. Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, the CEO of NXT, explains why he's exactly taking such a long time promoting them as single superstars, Stephanie Vacura and Julia. He spoke on the Busted Open podcast with Bubba Ray Dudley, Bully Ray. It's all about it's the communication aspect, the language barriers. Something that I've kind of noticed as well, like when you saw that Julia take on Roxanne Perez, Julia trying to cut a promo. They had that in ring confrontation where they had like a press conference, and it just right away she was interrupted, and so I was like, okay, like it seems like there is possibly a language barrier. Obviously, it hasn't really negated the fact that WWE NXT is going to push these girls. They're still getting promoted on a week to week basis. So not really, just being very patient, subtle, because these girls are amazing. Obviously Stephanie Vacura, former CMLL World Women's Champion, New Japan Professional Wrestling Strong Women's Champion, and Julia, all of her accomplishments in Stardom. So these girls are going to get pushed. I don't think the communication barrier and the language and stuff like that is going to it's not going to affect Shawn Michaels's decision in making these girls giant stars. So definitely, I love that about Shawn. That's cool. Monday Night Raw, on the opposite, has its best numbers. Even since the NFL started, you had the doubleheader of, Monday Night Football, which was actually pretty cool. Monday Night Raw, I thought was a great episode. Obviously, build up toward WWE Crown Jewel. Carlito, WWE is unhappy with Carlito ad-libbing. Once when you saw Io Sky and Kairi Sane leave the screen on Monday Night Raw during a promo, he was ad-libbing and he was saying, I gotta learn Chinese. Like, obviously these girls are Japanese. I'm pretty sure, on social media, they said it was just like a joke, nothing to take too seriously. I feel like ultimately Carlito was just trying to be funny because, obviously you saw him last week on Monday Night Raw, kind of trying to hit on Raquel Rodriguez. You kind of have this guy, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, trying to hit on them as well. Be like, damn, I gotta learn their language so I can take them out and stuff like that. That's how I took it. That's how I took it. I didn't really take it like, I don't know, like some people were like, oh, he's just upset that he's not getting television time. So he's like, oh, maybe I should learn a foreign language to get promoted. Like, I don't think it was nothing like that. Obviously, everybody's entitled to their opinion, 1,010%, respectfully, of course. Next, we have a lot of folks with WWE actually disagreed with the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, appearing on The Undertaker's podcast. Not obviously, this is not a politics podcast, wrestling from The Undertaker, from the wrestling side aspect of it. I guess, I guess it's all good with WWE officials. The Undertaker isn't in a lot of trouble because for some time I was thinking, I was like, all right, having somebody like Donald Trump, he's running in the election, kind of maybe sways or might show, your stance in terms of American politics and stuff like that. But I feel like the Undertaker was like, you know what, let's just have him on. He's, let's talk dudes. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely, Donald Trump he was close friends. He actually had Linda McMahon in his cabinet, I believe, during his run. So obviously, close with the McMahons. There's no doubt in my mind that, Donald Trump, close with some of the WWE superstars back in the day when you had everything going down with Vince McMahon with that match where they shaved his head and stuff like that. So, once again, the Undertaker not in trouble. Powerhouse Hobbs speculated to be turning to AEW. He was seen in Salt Lake City, Utah. anything, maybe him coming to the Hurt Syndicate would be absolutely crazy. Like maybe sometime tonight on AEW Dynamite, MVP approaches Swerve Strickland once again, and then like, you know what? If you're not with us, you're against us. He snaps his fingers. Out comes Shelton Benjamin. Swerve Strickland starts beating down Shelton Benjamin, and then out of nowhere comes this absolute monster, this behemoth, this amazing specimen that is Powerhouse Hobbs, being like, you did messed up, Swerve. I'm just kidding. No, but like basically kicking his butt and being like, all right, you should have joined the Hurt Syndicate, dude, because MVP is gonna help elevate your career. So I definitely, I would love to see that. Christy Hemme, former WWE Diva Search contestant. Oh, I loved Christy Hemme. I thought she was great. Inside the ring. Don't be perverted, guys. I'm just kidding. No, she's back in TNA. She's going to be the head of a marketing and strategy, which is obviously good for her. That's super badass. Bound for Glory is expected to be its highest grossing live event in 2024, which is no surprise. You have the collaboration between WWE, NXT, and TNA. There's no doubt in my mind this is TNA's biggest event of the year. This is their WrestleMania. Would absolutely love to see a handful of NXT superstars heading toward Bound for Glory. It is in Detroit, Michigan, so it should be pretty interesting. Michael Cole reportedly has mentioned that he signed a long-term deal with WWE. Love Michael Cole. Congratulations to my man, one of my most favorite announcers of all time, Dave Meltzer. Was told a title match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens will be booked for the return of Saturday night's main event in December. That's quite some time. That kind of basically says, like, anybody facing Cody Rhodes, don't worry, guys, they're not going to win the WWE Championship. It's kind of crazy. It was a little vocal about that, but it's kind of crazy. Ethan Page drops a diss track on Trick Williams. Make sure you guys check that out. It's very... I thought it was, sometimes I thought it was cool. It was funny. It was a little dorky, but it was cool. I liked it. I thought it was super dope. And then lastly, for our news night, we have Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry of TNA challenging Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Wants to collaborate with M&M. Oh my God. Obviously they're in Detroit, 8th Mile. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom Spaghetti, he's nervous. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Joe Hendry. Hopefully he prospers. Hopefully he beats Nick Nemeth. I'm not trying to say I'm taking sides here, but I don't know. Sometimes you got one opportunity, one moment to seize everything you've ever wanted. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. No more Eminem puns. I'm sorry, guys. All right, guys. Hey, that's it for me. Hope you guys had a great time watching the show. 1010%. God bless you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of the week. Have an amazing Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Lawyer Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter for more content and updates. And check out the rest of the shows, guys. We have baseball, basketball, football. Absolutely everything in terms of sports. Love you guys. Definitely have a great rest of your night, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't